One of the most common questions asked when someone's getting ready to go through a divorce or considering a divorce is, how long is it going to take? Well, we asked family law attorney Seth Glazer to go over it because there are some financial implications of how long your divorce could take. We'll go see what Seth has to say.
One of the questions, of course, that I get asked a lot is, how much is it going to cost for me to get separated, divorce? Kind of a secondary question that also has some financial implications to it is, how long is my case going to take? Very similar, I would say, to me being unable to pinpoint the exact amount of money it's going to cost you to go through a separation and divorce process. It's also almost impossible for me to tell you how long any particular case is going to take. Over the years that I've been doing this, I have handled countless cases at this point. I don't even know the number. I don't think there is a single case that I've dealt with that has taken the exact same amount of time. If you come to me and say, look, here are the issues, I think my spouse and I are going to be able to sit down and resolve a lot of this on our own and come to you and her attorney with the terms that we want to agree upon. Of course, if you can resolve things on your own, it's going to get things done faster. It's going to be easier for us to put together the settlement documents, and it's going to take less time. If you can't resolve things on your own, you need the attorneys to get involved to resolve it, or we have to go to mediation. I'll be honest, I mean, by the time we get done swapping out documents, collecting information from each side, you're talking about a 4 to 6 month process, maybe even longer at that point, to do it and do it right. There certainly is an element of patience that everyone has to have when you're going through one of these situations. I know, because I deal with these every day, that every person's situation is important to them and they want things to be done as quickly as possible. And we as attorneys understand that, but we are dealing with, most of us really are dealing with multiple individuals at the same time who are going through similar things. And just like anything else, it takes time. It's only so much time in the day for us to do work on each individual case. And so really realistically, when it comes down to it, it can take many months, even in a settlement situation, to get your case, moving along and done. Of course, if anyone's done any research in North Carolina, the equitable distribution, alimony, child support, child custody, all of that can be settled relatively quickly. Again, it just depends on having two parties and attorneys that want to work together and get it done. The actual divorce itself, you can't get divorced in North Carolina until you have been living physically separate and apart from your spouse for a year and a day. Fortunately, the divorce part of what we do, getting you actually divorced, is one of the easier aspects of our work. That's one of those set timelines that I can actually tell everyone, hey, look, even if you separate, today is July 11th, if you separate today, I can't file an action for absolute divorce for you until next year on July 12th of 2020. So that's one of those timelines I can tell you about. When it comes to litigating the case, because at that point, once you get into litigation, it's going to be, typically speaking, a more contentious matter. If you're litigating, you aren't agreeing on things with the other side, so you're typically disputing a lot of issues that are out there, and then you're subject to the court's schedule in terms of going through hearings, motions, trials, etc. Court cases that are litigated can drag on for years. Even initial claims for equitable distribution or alimony, it might take you a year and a half, 2 years to actually get to a trial on those issues. Sometimes it's sooner. A lot of it depends on what county you're in and what the scheduling system is in those counties. Mecklenburg County, for instance, by the time you get everything filed in court and get around to actually trying the various claims, it can easily take 9 months to a year to litigate things that, if not longer, to litigate matters in your case. Same in Iredell County. Frankly speaking, if you litigate a case, it typically is going to take at least a year to get through that. And again, that kind of segues back into the cost of the case discussion, that as a case drags out and takes longer and longer, more work goes into that case. And of course, more attorney's fees and costs are going to come to the clients, and that's just the nature of it. So again, kind of to summarize as a secondary or corollary to how much a case costs, the amount of time that each individual case takes, it just depends. It's on a case-by-case basis. It depends on the facts of your case. It depends on if you have, two individuals who can sit down and work things out with each other, or if the attorneys can work things out with each other. in those situations, sure, you can get things done relatively quickly. It's still going to take a number of months. If you can't figure that stuff out and you have to litigate it, it's going to take a while. It's not good from a personal perspective because you're kind of stuck in that situation, constantly having to provide information to us, constantly having to provide information to the other side, and it kind of takes over your life, and it can go on for a very long time.